Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Leslie Norris Townsend.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. Could you tell I'm excited to be here with all of you all? Thank you so much. I came in from Ohio, so this is Las Vegas. This is a big night out because I get to talk to people and not animals. My goodness, yes. Where do you live in Ohio? In Columbus. I live in a little town called Salina, Ohio, which is Indian for no Wi-Fi. So I wanted to wear something, you know, I'm a very costumey kind of person, as you could tell just from my voice, unfortunately. And my mother always said, if you don't carry a sign, be a sign. You like my outfit? Thank you. You can't wear this in Ohio. Somebody will shoot you is what will happen. I wished I was making that up. This is like when I went to Ohio after living in Hollywood for such a long time, and the husband took me to Ohio. They thought an alien had landed is what happened. So I'm kind of channeling the Partridge Family. Austin Powers, maybe? How about used car salesman? And I've been really nervous. Like last week I flew in and there was a storm. I forgot to tell you. Because I'm so happy that there's people that understand English. This is so good. I flew into Pensacola, Florida. I love being from Florida. I'm from Florida originally, and I flew in to see my Nana in Pensacola, Florida. So and there was a storm that came in last week, and I was so excited. And they had a sign that said, "Welcome to Pensacola. We'll be right back." And Nana is 95 years old, and she said, "Look, Leslie, look, we got some flooding," and she said, "I don't have to mop for a year." She saw bugs, too, and she said, "Leslie, come into the bathroom, there's all water bugs all over the place." And I said, "How do you know it's a water bug?" But then I looked closer, and they had little skis and a motorboat attached. My Nana is 95 years old. Anybody else have someone that old in their family? No? Is it just my Nana? No matter how much phlegm she coughs up? There was just more and more and more. And she has a muumuu on, right? And then she has a little Kleenex in her pocket. She pulls it out. She into the Kleenex, and she puts it back in her pocket. Like she's gonna mount it later. Like show it off. I remember when I was a little girl, I had to spend the night at my Nana's house with all that phlegm. Do you think that's why it's so humid in Florida? My mom would make me go spend the weekend with Nana, and I'd be so scared because I had to sleep in the same bed with Nana. Anybody else? And all night long, the noises would just mount. And I'm thinking if the noises stopped, she was dead. We're not worried about Stephen King's movie. Stephen King should go sleep at my Nana's house. There'll be a book out, The People in Nana's Stomach. So it's so exciting to be here. Let's get this out of the way. People ask me all the time, is this my naturally curly hair? I'm here to say, who would do this to their hair on purpose? You know, in fact, in this kind of weather, right? In this weather of the storm that's coming, who needs a weather girl? My hair just grows. It's like chia pet head. You could do your taxes inside in here. You could store your taxes. But the wonderful thing is, no matter how miserable I go to bed at night, my hair wakes up happy. Good morning. What are you gonna do today? I don't know. Get the mail. I don't know. But my face needs a ton of coffee is what happens. And unfortunately, this is my voice. I didn't smoke. I wish I had smoked something because it would come down just a bit, okay? In fact, I wish we grew some of this because we could make some money maybe, huh? So this is my voice, but my voice comes in handy. I can open up automatic garage doors. Dogs arrive, and when I get a knock on the door and it's the Jehovah's Witnesses, I start talking, they leave. My children, when we moved to Ohio, I tried to lay low for a while, and my children, they were just mortified by my voice. They would make me drop them off a block away from the high school because they didn't want mommy to talk to anybody, right? And I said, well, are you embarrassed of me or something? And they said, Mom, your voice is irritating. I said, well, when does my voice irritate you? Only when you talk. So nowadays, I'm doing comedy clubs again. The children are out of the house a bit, and I'm learning the new lingo, just like all of y'all. I was asked before I came on the stage tonight, was I non-binary? And I thought to myself, well, possibly. I mean, I don't do the computer very well. And then somebody has asked me, was I furry? Well, possibly last week. Because I shaved my legs tonight, is what happened. I would like to identify as, if somebody asked me, I would identify as an old queen. Thank you. Okay, not the kind of queen you might think. I am an old beauty queen. Believe it or not, I was Miss Orlando. Yes. What else? Miss Pensacola. And then I moved to Hollywood and became Miss Lead. I was the first runner-up to Miss Florida 3 times. So I'm a very bitter human being, okay? And I think it's why I'm just so superficial about everything. I worry about all these stuff. As you're getting older, I wanted to do my best. And as you get older, natural beauty takes time. So I started doing my makeup on Friday. And I finished about an hour ago is what happened. Because, I'm worried about, my sister says, you're so superficial, Leslie. Don't worry about the lines on your face. She says she loves every line on her face. She says she has earned every line. I'm thinking to myself, I think you got ripped off. Because mine came for free. I have had a birthday recently, and I really wanted to buy my own gift because, you know, the husband is he's a member of the bird family. Cheap, 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 cheap. I wanted to buy my own stuff, right? He asked me, did I need a Bluetooth? I said, no, but I could use a partial crown. I asked him, could I have some exercise equipment? And he said, he gave me a push mower is what happened. I have 2 acres of rough terrain in Ohio. And I'm thinking, I'm a good wife. I got out there and started pushing and exercising, thinking, it took me 2.5 hours. I'm thinking exercise is 20 minutes. This is torture. We're worried about people being incarcerated. Just send them to Ohio where I live. Give them a push mower because I was really trying to lose some weight. And I know I don't really want to talk about weight too much because a lot of people don't think it's a beauty queen thing. They think I don't need to lose any weight. And I think it's that you know, women are just so worried about their bodies, right, ladies? They're a little bit embarrassed about their bodies. But men, they're so cute. They just love everything about their bodies. They go to the beach and they have a little Speedo on, and they you know, the men go, hey baby, I got your birthday present right here. And I'm thinking, is there a trip to Europe somewhere back there, or how about an Escalade or something, you know? But women are all worried about it. I know even with my husband after 25 years. I mean, I come out of the bathroom and he wants to get romantic, right? And I have a towel and I'm like backing up against the wall. And I said, could you turn out that light over there? And could you get rid of pull the blinds down? I said, could you black out the whole neighborhood? We need to just accept ourselves. And I said to the husband, I'm gonna buy my own birthday present. I had 2 in mind, actually. One was everybody's buying that Ozempic. And I didn't have enough money, really. And my friend says to me, all you have to do is go online and you will lose a lot of weight. So I went online and I put in, I was 135 pounds and I was 5'4". And I got denied. Anybody else do this? Then I put in, I was 5'2" and weighed 195 pounds. I was denied. Finally, I put in, I'm 225 pounds and I'm 2 feet tall. Bingo, I got it. The only thing I lost, though, was $1,750 in 3 months. That's the only thing I lost. So I'm trying to accept myself. I told the husband I wanted to smooth out my neck. Anybody think of that? You know, the neck. I went to the dermatologist and I asked her, what would it cost for me to smooth out my neck? She said $8,000. Isn't that something? And then I went to the optometrist and I asked him, how much would it cost for me to fix my eyes so I don't have to wear glasses? He said $8,000. I just saved $16,000. By not fixing my eyes, I can't even see my neck. So most of y'all are so sweet, and are you all married? Yes, how long are you married? 47 years. Because you're a little quiet. Some of y'all are a little quiet. You're like a happy, peppy guy, right? Let's see happiness on all of your faces. I mean, we're out of COVID, right? Let's see some happiness. Do something with your faces. I know, because I've been living on the... Actually, during COVID, I had to stop working, and I had to live with the husband constantly for the, all that time, and we argued just a bit, we argued about the vaccination. Can I just say it? I'm still getting the vaccination. And he said he did not want to take the vaccination. He said it would change his brain cells. Well, I was thinking maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it will help you to clean out the gutters. You can mow the lawn once in a while. How about, could you cut your toenails? You know, he did everything perfect in the beginning. Don't the men just, in the beginning, oh, baby, whatever your pretty little heart desires, oh, baby, you are so sexy. Oh, baby, I love every dimple in that butt of yours. And then after about 15 years, it's your turn to feed the chickens. Get out there. His idea of a big night out is, hey, baby, let's go to Walmart and buy some duct tape. How about that? And you know that greeter in the front, that old guy, you know, he's the hunchback cyclops, one eye. He says, you know, we're starved for attention sometimes, right, ladies? And this ugly man comes up to me and says, Leslie, you look so young. And you've got such a pretty eye. So it's one. It doesn't matter if we don't get the jokes. We are all friends. Did you know that 1 in 3 people is unattractive? So look to your left. And look to your right. And if they look good to you, bingo! I'm just so happy we're out of that COVID stuff, and we're you know, because I did a lot of crazy things. I had a lot of goals. I told the husband we were gonna renovate the kitchen. We had to have goals, right? Well, it wasn't me. It was me, the husband, and Joanna and Chip Gaines. The husband showed up. He had a tarp and mid-century modern duct tape is what he had. He said, I'm going to help you. I turned around. He threw a bucket of water on me. He said it was backsplash. He said, what do you want to do? I said, you know what? It's just going to cost too much money. He said to me, why don't we put a trailer in the backyard with a nice kitchen, and then we'll just gut this one in here. And I was thinking to myself, maybe we could even film it. Instead of the Property Brothers, we'll call in the Poverty Brothers. How about that one? Because he's just, we tried to do some projects, right? The other thing I found out about actually doing all the projects, he said to me that he was feeling ill doing all this stuff, because you know I had more goals than him. And later on he had a heart attack that year, but that's okay. No, it's not okay. But you know, he's doing much better. And I went to the doctors with him just recently, a couple months ago, and the doctor told me that he had to quit all the goals. He said his heart attack was all my fault. He said what I needed to do was stop complaining about Ohio. He said no fried foods, and then he said I had to socially distance. So I moved in with my son, and our marriage is thriving. But my son has major migraine headaches. Of course, I love the kids. We were talking about kids earlier, and they love the farm. They're just enamored with everything on the farm. They just love it. They love the animals. Yeah, we have pigs and cows and horses on our farm. And when we get romantic, he likes me to whisper in his ear, E-I-E-I-O. I wished I was making that part up. But he made the commitment. Met him in Las Vegas, $89 they threw in the groom. Because I had been living in Hollywood, and you know, the men were just very hard to get commitments out of. And they were just so, you know, I was not wild. In fact, I had been engaged a lot. And one of my fiancés, we had gone to the beach, and he looked really different without his wallet. No, I had my husband. I found him after all. I'm a late bloomer of getting married. I had searched this whole world to find that one special man who could say those 3 special words. I have money. And I knew he loved me because he asked me what my ring size was, and I told him anything over 2 carats might be fine. Of course, once you've been in show business and you're living on a farm, you know that you're not getting many jobs, right? So now I just say, I want heat. How about that one? Because it's very cold in our Ohio. Florida doesn't get very cold. But in Ohio, it gets to be like 0 degrees, and then you'd be going to bed or something, and you know, the husband says, could you put that little nightie on? And so you put that little nightie, and then you put on your jogging clothes and your mucklucks and your scarf and your headgear and your goggles. And you get into bed, and it's like 10 degrees outside, and his little toe touches yours, and you say, don't you touch me. Can't you see the line? This is my side, this is your side. Because it's very cold out there, and you know, he's, like I said, he was cheap. We live in a 100-year-old house. He wants to put it on 55 degrees in the winter. And so at night, I would like stumble in my nightmare, whatever, and my shoulder would brush the thermostat, and he would wake up when it got a little bitty hot and say, who touched the thermostat? You know, the sheriff of the heat. I said, the ghost of Christmas past? So it's, you know, it's been very challenging, but my children, they just love it. And I remember when we first went there, they just were, you know, what happened was I had to leave the show business because my children were, you know, so wacky. They were very wacky. They ran and they ran and they ran. It was so hard to trip them. So the husband went on the road and he left me in the middle of the cornfield all by myself. And I would put the kids in front of you know, they were really wild, and I would put them in front of Barney, and Barney would say, I want an apple or a piece of candy, and the kid would say, I want an apple. This was not my children. You know they were going to grow up being some repressed bank robber singing, I hate you, you hate me, I'm in a dysfunctional family with a great big smack and a kick from you to me. Now I need some therapy. I love them so much. I taught them my own little nursery rhyme. It went like this. And the seat goes down, 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 and we wipe the rim, 'cause late at night, night, Mommy won't fall in. They were so sweet, and I would go to church, and you know, I laid low as a comic because my neighbor, when I first moved to Ohio, he asked me what I did for a living, and I said, I'm a comedian. And he said, what are you, a hooker in bars? Because they don't understand, you know, it's Midwest. They don't know comedy. So I said I was going to try to be quiet about my profession. And even at the church, I didn't tell anybody. And I would come to church because the kids were so wacky, I had to put them in a harness. And the preacher would say to me, Leslie, I can't believe you put a harness on your children. And I said to myself, I want them to live. The preacher at the church he came to me, he said, hey, I found out you were a comedian. And why don't you do our clown ministry? Do you know what I didn't know what that was. It's like we go to hospitals and we put white face on and a red nose and we minister to these people. I said, what, kabuki makeup? I'm a beauty queen. I'm not putting nothing on my face. I might wear a swimsuit in and do a turn of sorts, but that's it. So I was going to tell you now, my children are, they're grown up, thank God. They're grown up, and they made it, they lived, and they went to Ohio State. Both of them went to Ohio State. The big one said, it's not Ohio State, it's the Ohio State. The Ohio State. I said, if you don't quit bugging me, I'm not going to send you the rent. He said, Mom, if you don't send me the rent, I'm not going to give you the call. The call, don't you just... I just want my children now to call me, you know? And he says, we don't call, Mom, we text. Right? So I text him, how was your day? When you're coming home? How was your test? It took him 3 days to text me back, yes. Then he texts me he needs cash. So I wait 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and I text him back, call me, okay? I'm very proud of my children. They you know, have a mom like me. I'm a little out there, I guess. And I'm proud that the big one he did the Ohio State, and then he got into medical school. Isn't that nice? A dream come true, right, for a mom? And right before he was going to go to medical school, we were having breakfast, and he says to me, Mom, I got to tell you, I really don't want to go to medical school and be a doctor. What I want to do is go to Nashville and play music. And the good news was I had a butter knife in my hand, so I couldn't hurt anybody. And then I realized, you know, his dreams are not my dreams, right? So my dream of becoming a doctor him becoming a doctor had to change. Now I just want him to marry a doctor. He did graduate. The little one is still in college. He's in his 5th year. He's a junior more. I said, what's wrong? He says, I don't know what I want to be. I said, how about be graduated? How about that? Because you're going to have to I don't care how long you go, you're going to have to get a sponsor, because this sponsor is broke, is all I got to say. He said, Mom, you don't have to graduate anymore. Steve Jobs didn't graduate from college. And I said, well, just can you imagine if Steve Jobs would have graduated from college? I'll wait on that one. Can you believe that apple would have been a whole apple? And there wouldn't have been 16 iPhones. They would have got it right at 1. Well, I said to him, Jeff Bezos, he graduated from college. And now, last month, you know, he is going to Mars. And he has guaranteed a 2-day delivery. I just hope they drop him off at the right planet, is all I gotta say. Well, it's so nice that the kids are doing so well. I'm very grateful, and actually I'm grateful to be here at this comedy club, because I worked here, not at this club, but in Florida as a comedian 25 years ago. Thank you. And the beautiful thing is, I am making the same money. It hasn't gone down. So I feel really grateful. I'm so grateful that my children are doing well. I remember when I had to give up my career, I really missed it. I was so lonesome out there in Ohio. I'd been in Hollywood, I did pageants, I'd even worked at Disney World. I was really lonesome. And my husband was working on the road, and I decided I had to give up my career to watch my children, because no one else would. And I thought, how hard is it to watch 2 kids, right? And after 2 kids, I'm spayed. I'll just say that. The doctor said, are you sure you want to do this? I said, cut it, burn it, staple it, eat it. I don't care. Because they were just big, but you know, you miss them now. And so the first year I stayed at home with my children. I was all by myself. You know how remote where Salina is. And the first year I did okay. I thought, it can't be that difficult. I did okay. I started to twitch just a little bit. I twitched. But I got through the first year. Then the second year, I was getting more anxious. I was no friends out there, and I started to twitch some more. I twitched and I yelled. I started yelling, "Get off the counter!" And the baby would get so scared, and I would look in the mirror and I would see that face, and I thought, what if I died right now? That would be the last face that he would see of his mom. I didn't want to be this kind of a mom. So in the second year, I started to pray. I said, please, Lord, could you help me? I'm really stressed out. Please, Lord. My children are running all the time. They don't love each other. They want to murder each other, Lord. And no answer on the second year. Now on the third year, I put them in front of the TV. Why not, right? And Oprah came on, so that was my gift, Oprah, at 4 o'clock, and I wanted to pour myself a glass of wine. But I thought, could you just stretch it till 5 o'clock? Because then I won't need a 12-step program of any sort. So I was drinking, and I wanted, my neighbor gave me a little pill called a happy pill. And so I had one of those, and I was just calming myself down, and I told my church, I said, this is, I need some help. Please get the church to start praying. So the whole church started praying. Leslie needs some help. Every denomination in my town. Please, Lord, Leslie needs some help. Those kids, they're just wild. She might become an addict of some sort, please. And no answer on the third year. On the fourth year, I'm diligent. Now I'm praying on Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. Every time the doors open, what did I do wrong? Why can't I get some? I went to the doctors to get a happy pill, and he wouldn't give it to me. He says, comedians can't have one of these, right? And I said, oh, don't worry, I won't become an addict. He says, okay, I'll give it to you if you cut it into fourths. So there I was, it was a little bitty pill, and I cut it into fourths. I was drinking heavily. Everybody was, oh, Leslie, that husband is gone. She needs some help. No answer. And I'm here to say, on the 5th year, you think that a miracle can't happen in your life. And on the 5th year, a miracle happened. The school bus came to my house. And an angel of the Lord was driving. And he said to me, I'm going to pick your son up at 7 in the morning. And I'm going to drop him off at 4 in the afternoon. I said, oh, thank you, God. I said, how much is this going to cost? He said, it's free. I said, well, can you come on Saturday and Sunday too? Thank you so much. You've been a great audience. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.